Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today I am really excited. I have to tell you, I have been wanting to see this property for years. This is Brian and Norma, and Brian is with Expatriate Paw Paw. That's his Instagram account. But I found him when he had his blog. So Brian, can you tell everybody what you do, and they will immediately understand why I'm so excited to meet you.
Yeah, so Norma and I grow pawpaws in Utah.
Paw Paws, not just one.
Yeah, that's right. We've got several trees on the property, and we found out about pawpaws when we lived in Virginia for 5 years, and I think it was one November or maybe even October that I learned about them as I was learning about persimmons, and then I saw this other strange fruit called paw paws, and I realized that we just missed the season.
Oh.
And so we spent the entire year talking about what paw paws might taste like and scouting out pawpaw groves, and we spent maybe 3 or 4 years just foraging wild pawpaws in Virginia.
Oh, I love that. That's a dream.
And then I got a job here, and Norma was able to work remotely. And so we moved to Utah, and one of the saddest things about leaving Virginia was that there were no pawpaws in Utah, and we
literally
were leaving.
no pawpaws in Utah.
And we didn't even, I had read that if you've got alkaline soil, it doesn't work to plant pawpaws. And so we didn't even bother until 2011, when we finally just said, well, we'll give it a try. If it doesn't work, they'll die, and then we'll be out a few dollars. But if it does work, then we've got the world to gain. Pawpaws in Utah.
I love that. That's my attitude. It's like, you've got to try it, because if you don't try it, you never know. You can't let everybody tell you. Yeah. So let's look and see your pawpaws and talk a little bit about what you do with them and the varieties that you have.
But what we've got here is the Shenandoah cultivar, yes. Which is one of the Peterson Paw Paw lines.
There's still a few on there.
Are there a few on there? Let's see.
Here's a pretty good
look at that.
size one.
So just in case you didn't think that pawpaws would grow beautifully in Utah, look at this.
This one's soft.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And you can tell they're ripe when they fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is from the Peterson Paw Paw line, and for years before we moved here, we had read about Peterson pawpaws, and so this was one of the first ones that we wanted to plant. We also planted the KSU Atwood, which is right over here, developed at Kentucky State University. And these are our two favorites, really, the Shenandoah and the Atwood. The Shenandoah, as I was telling you the other day, is kind of freestone.
Yes.
You cut it open, and the flesh doesn't cling to the seeds, which is really nice. And I think it's got kind of a butterscotch flavor to it. Sometimes the best one.
Description, yeah.
And I don't especially like butterscotch, but I love them.
Yes. How could you not love pawpaws?
And then the Atwood is great because it's really custardy, and it has a great flavor. It's more clingstone, and so it's harder to clean off the seeds, which are about the size of lima beans and black and shiny. And then over here we've got the mango cultivar.
This was my favorite of the ones that I tried.
Oh, was it really?
The flavor, yeah.
We had, the other evening we had a pawpaw gathering here, and there have been some repeat offenders. People have come multiple times to the pawpaw gathering.
I wonder why.
They, and some of them don't even like pawpaws. They just come for our good company.
Yes.
But one repeat offender came, and he said, I had never liked pawpaws until I tried the mango. And this was the first year we had enough mangoes that we set them out.
Okay.
So that was exciting. It makes converts.
Yes.
Oh, another thing that we've read about the mango, and I think it's an accurate description, is one report that I read was that once they ripen up, they're like a water balloon.
Yes.
more water balloony than other pawpaws, and we found it's true. They've got custard insides just like the other ones. They're in the custard apple family, so they have that, but it's more custardy, just
It's wet.
yeah,
They're
almost wet. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it. Yeah, because you could tell when you open it up which one it was.
They're different.
Yeah, that it was different. But then to me, the flavor seemed a little more rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should shake it, Bee, because there's a couple that are
Oh,
really ripe.
yeah. If you look up there, you can see that they're really ripe. They've turned
Oh,
brown,
yes,
purple up
this-
there, and
Can you imagine in Utah having enough pawpaws that you get them ripe, overripe? It's just amazing. There we go.
you listen for that thud when they
Yes.
fall.
Now, do you get an extended harvest? Do they ripen basically the same time, or do you have later ones, earlier ones?
They mostly ripen at the same time, I'd say.
When we had the wells, that one. But, I mean, this one's all done. The Shenandoah's about completely done. And there's most still on the Atwood. So, a little bit.
Yeah.
But when we had the wells, it was always late.
And the Wells cultivar was the first one that we planted in 2011. And then we planted these two in 2012. The Wells, when we first got it, and finally in 2016, I think, or maybe it was 2015, it gave fruit. And, you know, it smelled just like Virginia to us, tasted just like Virginia to us. We were so
Like you
excited.
were going home.
And then we got actually kind of spoiled because of the Shenandoah and the Atwood, and then stopped liking the Wells as much. It became a chore. We shunted it to this tree we will pulp the pawpaws of because we don't like them very much. But then finally we cut it down, and so.
Oh, be still my heart.
It was crazy. I mean, I kept a blog for years called Expatriate Paw Paws. So proud of that Wells cultivar. The trunk was that big. And just thinking about cutting it down seemed crazy how few pawpaw trees there are in Utah. But we've
when
got
you
plenty.
have, so this to most people in Utah is like the goal. But this isn't it, is it?
It's not. Yeah, we can
Do you
go
have
over
more?
to the other side of.
Oh my word, another pawpaw.
And so this.
Doesn't give very much.
This one is also from the Peterson line. It's called Susquehanna.
Okay, so I've heard, Shenandoah and Susquehanna, I've always wondered the difference.
Yeah, I mean, this one is, the pawpaws are supposed to be bigger, and we haven't seen that yet. Maybe it's the soil, the climate, I don't know.
How old is this one?
We planted this one in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, 2016. Same with the mango over there. That
So
one
the mango
was from
way outgrew this
2016
one.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first year we got it, we didn't really like it. It was kind of, it seemed kind of rubbery to us.
Oh.
But over the years, I don't know if the fruit's changed or we've changed. Now we do like it.
Yeah.
Oh, now you do?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good it's a good tree.
It's about as good as the Atwood.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
and yeah, unfortunately this year there haven't been very many from this one, but
Yeah.
we've been doing okay.
I think you have. But this isn't it, is it?
It's true. It's not a. You might be interested in looking right here. This is
Yes.
where the wells
Had
used to be, and you can see the circle of regrowth. So the
Oh, it's trying to
the stump
regrow.
was
Okay, yes,
that
there
big
it is.
around,
Yeah.
and all around the stump we've got regrowth from the rootstock.
It just wants to be here.
It does. Yeah.
Now, pawpaws are usually grafted, right?
Yeah, the ones that people plant in their yards oftentimes are.
Yeah.
But I mean, the ones that Norma and I started off with, none of them were grafted. We just found them out in the woods, and
the
took-
ones in Virginia.
yeah.
So
the-
could you tell much of a difference? Were the wild seedlings, very much different than the cultivated varieties?
They varied in how they tasted. You could definitely eat some and say, oh, this one is a really good one. This one is a less good one. This one is a jelly one. This one is a custardy one. So there was a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And you could never know what you were going to get.
Well, that's probably part of the fun, huh?
It was, I think.
And that's also something that we missed once we just had a certain number of trees
You know
on
what
our
you're
property.
getting
Yeah, I
each
mean, we
year.
were harvesting from dozens of trees in Virginia, and so you get something different with each one. And we did have that one year where we harvested a lot of pawpaws. We had never seen them nor seen them again. But Norma mentioned the jelly pawpaws. It was, I mean, it was like they were full of hard gelatin.
Really?
That was
Kind
it
of
was
clear, translucent, transparent. Yeah.
So instead of like the flesh on the inside, it was kind of more jelly?
yeah,
Wow.
and they were still good.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things about those was we could just kind of peel the skin off, and then there was a jelly interior. Really,
They were
really
weird.
weird.
I wonder
strange.
if that's, you wonder what would cause that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, we saw some jelly bits in one that we opened up the other day from ours.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh my word. So is this it? Is there only 4?
No, there happened to be a few more.
They're
This is
small.
like joyous.
And so we'll pass the pomegranate on the way.
See, look. My kind of people. I love this. And as we're pass on the way, I've talked a lot on my videos about the topaz melons, which I thought I was the only one growing. But lo and behold, topaz melons.
Yeah.
Look how
and
gorgeous they are.
This one has had its color change, so it's ready to harvest.
Yeah.
And I think
Harvest that one.
probably the rest of them are a lost cause at this point. And so
Yeah, for
once we
some
harvest
reason it
this
seems like they
one-
ripen really late.
yeah.
They need a fair bit of time. Yeah.
But they're good.
Yeah, they
are
really
very
are.
good.
Cantaloupe times 10.
Yes.
And so then right here, in what year was it? 2021 that we bought another house?
Yeah, so we planted these in 2021.
Okay, so in 2020 we bought a house. Really sad to move and leave our pawpaws.
Yes.
And so to make up for it, I put in an order for 10 pawpaw trees to plant at the new house. But then things didn't work out with us in that other house. We decided we didn't want it, and so fortunately we still had our house here, and we sold that. But the pawpaws were still coming.
Yes.
And so I canceled half, but I couldn't bear to cancel all, and so we
Because they're coming and they're pawpaws.
yeah. And so we planted 5 additional pawpaw trees that year, 2 of which we've removed. Was it just 2? 2 of which we've removed, and 1 of which failed to thrive.
Yeah.
But this one is the KSU Chappelle.
Now I hadn't heard of that one.
I haven't heard very much about them either, and honestly, because they're in this other part of the yard that I don't look at as much, I've needed to go back and remember their names and
Yes.
find where I'd written
And
it
they're
down.
not
So
fruiting yet. Or
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this one may fruit next year.
How old is it?
It's
so
we
2016.
planted it in
Oh,
2021.
2021. Oh, yeah.
And
So about 4 to 5 years is when I'm.
yeah,
Yeah.
the first one, the Wells gave fruit after 5 years, and then the Shenandoah and KSU Atwood gave fruit after 4, and then the Susquehanna gave fruit after 3, and so
Oh,
it
wow.
broke that record. And so, yeah, we'll see. And you can tell if it's going to at least flower the next year by looking for flower buds rather than leaf buds. And the flower buds wind up being kind of roundish. And I haven't searched this one yet. Oh, here's one. So right there.
Yeah, they start really early.
Yeah. And you can see the contrast. There's the leaf bud, and there's the
Yeah.
flower bud. Oh, yeah.
Is that there?
Oh, I think that's a leaf bud.
No, okay.
The flower buds wind up being round. So at least one flower bud coming for next year. And it
Yeah,
could be
that's
more.
exciting.
And one of the nice things about Paw Paws is that they're almost unbothered by any kind of pest or
Yeah, here
blight.
in Utah, they just, and even in, was it Virginia, is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Did they have very many pests there?
We didn't see any. I mean, the tiger swallowtail butterfly.
But
which-
you don't mind that
yeah,
being...
you would want that.
Yeah.
But they don't show up around here.
Yeah.
I think we have seen a couple butterflies hanging around the Paw Paws very occasionally. And then we've got the KSU Benson right here.
It's a cutie.
And you can see the color change. And when Paw Paws are, well, to me, when they seem happy, they turn a bright yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is common.
And then Norma has just picked some shoots from a Paw Paw that we actually cut down. We felt like we
another
had
one.
enough. And so this is where the Maria's Joy cultivar used to be.
Oh, okay, I have heard of that one.
And this is the rootstock growing back. But this is an American persimmon. And we
More
thought,
exciting fruit.
well, we've got several Paw Paws. We could diversify. We've only got a finite amount of space.
And
Yeah.
that's an American persimmon as well.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Now, do they need pollinators?
We think.
Well, you have one now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
we're hopeful.
You're set, no matter which way it goes.
Yeah, this one's been flowering for years, the American persimmon, and it will make little fruit that stays green until it gets to about the size of a pea, and then it turns black and dries up.
Oh,
And so we're hoping that it's a matter of pollination, and once we have this one, I'm sure that there will be people watching the YouTube channel who know much more about persimmons than we do, and they'll say, no, you've got it all wrong. This is how it works.
well,
Leave that
you're
in the
finding it out.
comments.
Yes, please leave comments. We would love to. I love learning. So, I guess the question is here in Utah. It seems you guys make it look easy, but most people who grow pawpaws in Utah have a difficult time. Any suggestions?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really has been easy for us as we've grown these. And I think it may have to do with that our yard is a well-established yard. It's been a lawn for a long time. And so maybe just season after season of grass dying has amended the soil.
Yeah.
I talked with somebody in plant and wildlife science, a student over at the university, and he said that he had heard that just turf grass over the course of decades can effectively amend the soil.
Right.
And so that may contribute to less alkaline soil in our yard. In terms of water, as far as I can tell, anybody who has a lawn with grass on it and provides the lawn with enough water to be able to grow grass would be able to grow pawpaws in Utah.
And I would say that is absolutely true. My pawpaw was as gorgeous as yours until I removed the lawn.
Okay.
And once I removed the lawn, it's just looking really, really rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so during these years of drought, we've felt some compunction. Oh, we've got this lawn, but a lot of people have lawns, and
Yeah.
We do
the
have a
pawpaws.
small lawn.
We do have a
Yes.
small. We've got 0.15 acre, so
Yeah.
I don't think we're the biggest water users in Utah.
And you're growing pawpaws. You're adding benefit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
We certainly wouldn't keep watering just to have grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. for sure.
Pawpaws and persimmons and pomegranates.
And we've got peaches. Oh, that's a lot of peas. pawpaws, persimmons, peaches, pomegranates.
You need to diversify a little bit.
Yeah.
You have melons. You have melons.
Get around to the other letters of the alphabet in terms of trees.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fertilization. That was the other question I had. Do you fertilize your pawpaws, individually, or do you fertilize your lawn?
We've had a company fertilize our lawn and take care of our lawn sometimes, and sometimes we haven't. And the pawpaws started growing before we hired that company. And so we've done nothing to fertilize them.
They just get what they get. I think probably the most important part is water.
Yeah.
Now, do you protect them the first few years from sun, or what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my understanding, which has been borne out as we've grown these pawpaws, is that pawpaws grown from seeds, so seedlings do need protection from sun. And but we haven't grown pawpaws from seedlings. These have always been grafted cultivars, and so they've probably got rootstock that's 2 or 3 years old, and the graft is taken from a branch that's on a tree that's 2 or 3 years old.
So it's already hardy.
Yeah, it's already hardy. We will put what I'll do though to protect it from just because, well, these pawpaws arrive this tall.
Yeah, they're always really small.
Really easy to mow over, really easy for a kid to step on just cutting through the yard. And so what I'll do is I'll hammer in 4 pieces of rebar around, and then I'll even put a screen, just like window screen. I'll wrap that around the 4 pieces of rebar. That keeps curious deer away.
I was wondering.
And
kids.
Kids.
Yeah.
And the deer, as far as I can tell, they're not really into pawpaws.
They probably just have no idea what they are.
Yeah,
Like, what
I
is
think-
this?
Leaves taste terrible too.
Yeah.
And they smell terrible. I mean, terrible is overstating it in terms of smell. They smell like diesel. If you don't like how diesel smells, then don't
If I
smell
were a
a
deer, I
pawpaw
wouldn't want to
leaf.
eat anything.
Deer
that
don't seem to like them.
Yeah.
I've come out a few times after we planted a new tree and found a leaf half bitten off by a deer,
And they
then
spit it out and said,
yeah,
"Yuck,
they
move
spit it
on."
out. It's on the ground. You can see the teeth marks, and they just don't like it.
They'll move
Thank
to
heavens.
the strawberries.
Yeah.
But I'll move to the strawberries.
The first year we planted them, we asked for them to be delivered in May, and that worked just fine. They were leafed out, and or at least the wells was leafed out. We planted it and started growing, and that was fine. But then our supplier, against my wishes, sent the pawpaws in March.
Oh.
And I thought, oh no, I mean, you've ruined us.
Yeah.
And so I called them and said, hey, I didn't want them in March. I said in May. And they said, oh, well, we just sent them in March and they'll be fine. I had little faith in that, but it turned out that it worked just fine. We put them in the ground dormant and they did leaf out. So I don't know. And that's what we've done ever since.
Okay. So I don't know what it is that's causing mine to just not. But like I said, I have 5 now that are going, but they, yeah. So anyway, I am just so excited. I'm so grateful you let me come and talk about your pawpaws and kind of shatter the conception that pawpaws don't grow in Utah.
Well, it's been great to have you here.
Yeah, well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you go out and start trying new, different kinds of fruits. Because if you, like we said, if you don't try, you're not gonna know.
It's true.
Yep. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed it, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.